So maybe you're walking down the street one day and you pass by this old brick building, and you think to yourself, wow, those are some nicely made, red-looking bricks. That is some awesome bricklaying work. That is just some absolute fantastic fortification right there. Or maybe you're walking along outside an actual fort. You're looking over all of the walls and the defenses, dissecting them with your eyes, deeply interested in how this absolute bastion of a building was created and what purpose it actually serves. Or maybe you're like many in this hobby and you love yourself a good phalanx gun line where people stand their ground and never give an inch to the enemies that they are facing. Now, if you've ever thought this, you're probably a weirdo like me. And you're probably a weirdo like the topic of today's video. The palace building, one-liner saying, Alfarius smashing golden brick wall of a man by the name of Rogal Dorn. I am your fully trustworthy host, Inquisitor Callie, and this is Warhammer Simplified. Now before we get into it, I need to fulfill my obligations to the Cult Mechanicum. If you like this video, leave a like, subscribe to the Imperial cause down below, and ring that bell so everybody on the ship knows that you did your duty. And without further ado, let's get into Rogal Dorn. So, Rogal Dorn, the Primarch of the Imperial Fist, and my personal favorite Primarch of all of them. He is a stalwart, quiet, contemplative man that grew up on the ice world of Inuit. Now, Rogal Dorn himself is very emotionally he's kind, but he's also very brick-like. Hence the whole joke that popped up about him being illiterate. Yeah, Rogal Dorn would sort of have this sort of emotional stuntedness to him where he was very blunt. He would sort of just like, his tone is just like this. Hello, me am Rogal Dorn. Hate Iron Warrior. Perturabo a bitch. Somebody might go to him to seek praise, and Dorn would pick out the various different things that they did wrong and go, okay, you need to do this. Here is how you could have improved. And he does it from a place of love, but also that's kind of like something you don't really want to hear when you're trying your absolute best. But Dorn does his best. He's good. He's fine. His home planet was a planet named Inuit. There's not much here. It's tidally locked. There's ice. There's more ice. Oh, look over there. There's a little bit more ice. And the entire world is essentially frozen over. Swimming down in the oceans down under the ice is a bunch of blind fish. Probably look like this guy here. It's a little ugly. Now, Inuit is a pretty harsh place. It is another death world. Among the many different death worlds that the Primarchs actually ended up on, tidally locked to its dying red dwarf star, and it kind of just absolutely sucks to live here. On the dark side of the planet, there's just a bunch of beasts roaming around, and a bunch of icy mountains, different paths. It's very hard to actually survive here on Inuit, unless you build up a fortification. Now, we reach a little bit of a difficulty with Rogal Dorn's early life here, and that is the fact that it really hasn't been written on yet. Rogal Dorn does not have a Primarch book that goes over his early life yet. But what we do have is that he was found by the patriarch of a clan named House Dorn. The patriarch was essentially his adopted grandfather. And one of my absolute favorite traits of Dorn is that he actually keeps his grandfather's cape and sleeps next to it. He uses it as a sort of a comfort blanket, which is something that, I actually do. It's made him really relatable to me, and it's honestly pretty nice. Like every other Primarch, except for some very notable exceptions, Dorn quickly took control of the Clan Dorn and expanded across the planet into his own sort of empire. Here he learned to be dauntless, relentless, like the people of Inuit themselves, as you sort of had to be to live on this ice planet. And Dorn is actually one of the few Primarchs that went to space before the Emperor found him. He crafted spaceships that the Inuit people haven't been able to match. And after he did this, he went out up into the stars and he found this massive thing orbiting the planet known as the Phalanx. Now, a brief aside on the Phalanx, we'll probably get to it more in the Imperial Fists episode, but the Phalanx is this massive Dark Age of technology ship that's sort of kind of like a Blackstone fortress, and Rogal Dorn would look up to the sky at this Phalanx and go, "I want that. Me am go up to get that." And so he would. When he trained his people in enough skill to pilot the ships up to the Phalanx and take it over, he did so actually pretty much with ease. And then around that time, or a little bit afterwards, the Emperor arrived. Yeah, like I said, his early life is really, really lightly touched on. It's GW, please. And so, when the Emperor arrived, Rogal Dorn looked at him and said, "You look very respectable. I am give you funny ship." And the Emperor was like, "That's pretty cool. Keep funny ship. You'll need it to ferry your guys around, because I am going to take you and make you the head of this army right here." And Rogal Dorn's like, "All right." So Rogal Dorn is taken and he meets his legion, the Imperial Fists. And he bakes into them the resilience that the people of Inuit showed. And obviously some of the people of Inuit become Space Marines themselves, so that probably helped a lot with that sort of thing, but yeah. And because we don't have much on Dorn's early life, let's do what we did last time and touch a little bit on what happened during the Horus Heresy. So this emotional sort of blankness gave him a little bit of a rougher relationship with his brothers. Those who liked him saw him for really what he was. He was dependable. He was absolutely honest. He could be relied on to tell you the truth. And those who didn't like him saw him as a needless perfectionist. And some really just didn't like that he got all of Daddy's attention and threw a tantrum that he was able to build the Golden Palace. We need to get a little bit of the roasting of the Iron Warriors in here. So a little bit of calling Peter Turbo stinky man baby, though that's why we all love him, I admit. He'll get his own episode eventually. Don't worry. Now, moving on from what he was really like, let's move on to how he managed the building of the palace. So one day, while they were all out crusading, the Emperor gathered everybody together and like, "All right, my boys, I am going to choose one of you to come build the palace." And everybody was like, "Ah, cool." And Perturabo was sitting there like, "Oh, it's totally gonna be me, right? Oh, it's me. It's me." And then Rogal Dorn was picked out. So Perturabo was back there seething a little bit as Rogal Dorn left and looked over Terra. And he got there and said, "Dad, your crib is shit. I must improve the structural integrity of all of these walls. Give me several years. I'm totally not going to make a pyramid." So he makes a pyramid, and he makes it one of the most heavily defended places in all of the Imperium. Now, why exactly was this palace needed to be so heavily defended in this way? Well, that'll be a story for the Horus Heresy episode itself. For now, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for supporting me. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Rogal Dorn absolutely is my absolute favorite of all of the Primarchs. I love him. He is awesome. I absolutely cannot wait to get to talking about my other of the favorite Primarchs, being his very own archenemy, Perturabo himself. So tune in for that episode next time. And on that topic, how about that release last week? Those teasers that GW put out last week for more Iron Warriors. Do you guys actually think it's Perturabo? I would absolutely be thrilled if it actually was. I cannot wait to see what the next Traitor Primarch they're going to develop is on the actual tabletop. It's going to be fantastic. This year is going to be awesome for Warhammer. And for now, I hope you have a good day. Bye!